Welcome everyone, I'm the Depressed Eeyore, and this is Dungeonmans. This is a roguelike RPG with a little bit of progression through death, where like certain things you get in the game will carry over to your next character and so forth and so on. I generally prefer that type of roguelike over others simply because I don't like losing all my progress. I feel like at least getting a little bit of something from, getting as far as you did makes it a little bit more worthwhile. But I've watched a few videos of this game being played by Franco-Matic, and I thought, this game's kind of neat, and decided to go ahead and try it out. That, and I kind of needed just a change of pace, or actually it's more like going back to my roots, I guess, because I did a lot of roguelikes before as well. So yeah, I'll be doing this, and we'll see how it goes. Some things to note, Now, my recording software was able to detect this game, but every time I tried to record it normally, it would crash immediately. So I am recording a section of my screen right now, so that can lead to a few glitches here and there. So, be aware of that. Usually it shouldn't be an issue. Another thing I've found out is in the options, when you do save changes and close, it actually doesn't save the changes unless you have a save file. So every time I restarted the game without a save file, which I don't have one yet because I haven't started a game yet, it resetted all the volume options to 100, which is really strange because the default when I initially started the game, the music volume was 80, so it just kind of reset it to whatever. Also, it has this option, which is either is useless or does nothing. I don't know what those do. But besides that, let's just go ahead and we'll go with that. I don't know what the targeting grid is, but I feel like I need that. Also, I went ahead and turned on show enemy health just because I don't think I really need to lock the camera to the hero. Alright, we'll save changes and close, and let's actually do a new academy here. Our story begins in a forgotten age, a legend lost in histories that were buried in old myth. On the unfamiliar shores of an untamed land, a hero strode forth to... No, don't be silly. That hero is not you. Strode forth to bring the light of knowledge and civilization to a wild continent known only as... In which case, you just type... Okay, unless you've got a better name in which you just type your little heart out and press enter when done. Okay, well... So this is the name of the continent, Gensokyo, because you know me. Alright. This great hero upon the shores of Gensokyo brought with him but one thing, the iron spirit of the Dungeonmans. There is no greater force than the Order of the Dungeonmans, each one a titan of monster-crushing greatness, an unparalleled treasure hunter and veteran of 1,000 battles. Here, one of eldest and greatest of their champions set out to spread the light of the Dungeonmans to a new land. The great hero set out to build a mighty Dungeonmans Academy, an institution of higher learning and martial training, one that would serve as a beacon of civilization to the terrified native villagers, cowering in fear from what terror lurks outside their walls. The toil was not a small one, but eventually the Academy began to accept its first students, bright-eyed young hopefuls willing to take up the cause and bring war to those who prey upon the just. So begins the story of one young candidate, ready to embark on the rigorous years of study required to be a true Dungeonman. What is this candidate's name? Which one should I start with first? Well, probably Cirno, the strongest. Alright. Now, I'm not sure, some things I've noticed, at least when I watched the videos, is whenever you type in the name, you'll produce random stats for that character. And if you don't like those stats, you can immediately just get rid of that character and make a new character, but you have to pick a different name. So if Cirno has horrible stats, well, Cirno has horrible stats. You have to that's Cirno stats. So anyway, Cirno the strongest. And there we go. So the way this works is you roll up stats 5 times and you pick a set. There are 4 major stats. There's strength, skill, science, and foom. So strength I guess is how it's pronounced. Increases health, increases stamina, increases all damage slightly, increases melee damage. Where other stats specialize, strength fortifies the entire Dungeonmans. Okay. Skills, increase accuracy, increase rain damage, helps defeat enemy blocking and parrying. Skills are important for any ranged fighter. Science, reduces magic damage taken, increases the effectiveness and duration of potions and status effects, softens the blows of enemy status effects on you, increases detection chance. Science is a measure of your wisdom and knowledge of how things work. And Foom, increases mana, determines magic damage, adds damage to all ranged attacks. Foom is the essence of destruction in large amounts and with high potency. So this increases mana, and it actually affects all ranged attacks. So I guess Foom and skills are kind of work together. Alright, I kind of already know what class I want to be, but it looks like I'm probably not going to have very good stats for it. We'll see. Might go with this. These are all terrible. Cirno the strongest is no Dungeonmans, in which case you have to pick a new name, and then you get new stats. This is probably the most decent. Increases health, increases all damage slightly, increases melee damage. I mean, the character I'm going to be playing is going to be a ranger at first, and so I actually kind of want high skill, but I might just have to deal with what I have and just take this instead. Yeah, I think I'll go with this one. Alright, so you got a bunch of different classes, and each of them actually have their own little difficulty levels. So you got Rangerman. A Rangerman who graduates from the academy is an expert with bows. You'll start out with the ability to attack from range and get some distance from enemies when they press in too close. Much like most roguelikes, having a ranged attack is usually pretty good. Pro tips, use F to fire your ranged weapons. You become focused after not shooting for 3 rounds, which will make your next arrow stronger. Use stick and move to stay out of trouble. Keep an eye on your stamina. So there's two. You use mana for spells and use stamina for skills. Anyway, Fireman's. The Fireman's course is built on a solid core of weapons, shields, and armor. You'll begin with skills and equipment to take enemies head on. Use S to see your collection of power. Sword and board is a good balance of offense and defense. Two-handed weapons are all offense. Use high guard when surrounded and get those counterattacks. Excuse me. Wizardman's. The esteemed Wizardman's begins with a powerful suite of arcane ability. Full mastery over the wizard staff and its pair of spells designed to both destroy foes from afar while making it difficult for them to reach you. Use F to fire your firebolts from your staff. So they do get a ranged attack, but it doesn't go as far. And stuff like that. Anyway, and then there's these advanced classes, which I haven't even looked at before, which I will probably not worry about right now. We'll deal with them later. First, we'll just go ahead and do Rangerman's, and we'll go from there. Okay, so tell us about yourself, Cirno the strongest. Choose 2 perks. So you can take 2 perks. There is a perk called Mono Perk Disorder, and all this does is waste the perk, and so you only have 1 perk. You grew up a poster child for countless fundraisers affected by this cruel condition, where only one of your perks actually does anything. It hasn't been an easy life, but it will likely be a short one. Anyway, you got Southernborn. Raised by the gentlemen barbarians of the temperate south, you lived a life of might and nobility, building a staunch hardiness from drinking fine teas and rigorous afternoons of Tusker Polo. So this gives you a bonus to maximum health. Perk Burner. Eat delicious books to restore health and gain small XP boosts. You can't use books for mastery points because you eat them. Nothing makes you madder than a bunch of paper with lots of them words and numbers of facts on it. The only thing books are good for besides burning is eating. Cover it and all. Scrounger, find more coin and loot and breakable world items. Most Dungeonmans are too proud to kick over every barrel and sort through every dusty rubble pile to find loot. You, though, were never a slave to pride. Defiant, deal more damage when you're gravely injured. They'll never take you alive, although the monsters probably don't even want to take you or any other Dungeonmans alive. But if one of them is feeling uppity, he'll never take you alive. Let's see, I don't even know how to pronounce this. Pneumatized? Plus 20 AP game, generally 1 action every 5 rounds. Take 15% more damage from everything. A naturally hollow skeletal structure makes you lightweight and fast on your feet, but also prone to brutal fractures and traumatic events like powerful sneezes and overbrushing. Electrolyze, faster and more potent mana and stamina recovery. You're just overflowing with natural enzymes. Everyone at the alchemy lab is always trying to swab you. Sometimes you sleep with extra covers on just to wake up in a pool of your own refreshment. All weather. Take 10% less fire and ice damage, deal 10% more fire and ice damage. You've lived all over, tropics, deserts, tundras, it doesn't matter. It's always t-shirt weather for you. Hyper hemoviscosity. You are immune to bleeding damage, but you take minus 20 AP gain. Generally, you take 4 rounds for every 5 the monsters get, which means monsters get more actions than you, which means 1 extra act. Okay, so yeah, you get 1 extra action every 5 rounds, which is not bad. Alright, your father was a vampire, your mother was a milkshake elemental. There's no other explanation. Actually, there are plenty of completely logical explanations as to why your blood is thicker than frozen honey, but they all involve bees, and that's way worse. Alright, world champion. More champion monsters will spawn in the world. The negative trait. More champion monsters will spawn in the world. Even the scrubbiest monsters knows to be the man. You've got to beat the mans. They all want a shot at the next hotshot graduate to come starting out of the academy. Get ready. Mad Thirsty. The first potion you drink in a round does not cost you an action. Stamina and mana powers are now 20% more expensive. So you can drink a potion as a free action, which is pretty powerful because you know in most roguelikes, using items usually takes an action. And this roguelike functions just like all others, where every time you take an action, mostly other monsters will also be taking an action. It's worse when you it's worse than you let on. Secretly, you had the Grand Chemistress come up with a 0-ish calorie version of Academy Revitalizing Punch because you drink them like there's no tomorrow, but on the battlefield that's probably the case. Tireless, using a stamina-based power creates strain for 2 rounds instead of 5. You're always ready, ever ready, and then ready for more. It's incredible. It takes incredible self-control on your behalf to go more than 3 minutes without dropping and doing 20 push-ups. And purpliated. Take 15% less dread purple damage thanks to your sinister heritage, but you take 15% more starlight damage. It burns. Your body was infused at birth with dread purple energy and you never knew your parents. Maybe that's for the best. As far as I know, dread purple damage is something that's like end-game damage, which could be useful in the end game, but in the early game you're probably going to get wrecked. So for a ranger, I'm thinking tireless, so that means I can use my stamina abilities a lot more often. And then the other one I want to pick, Electrolyze is kind of nice, but I'm thinking about just going Glass Cannon, get 20 plus 20 AP gain, so that means I get an additional action every 5 rounds. So yeah, we'll go with that one. Alright. Huh. So apparently picking female doesn't change your image, it just adds lady to the end. But there is female icons. There we go. So tireless, pneumatized, and I think we're ready to go. So to adventure. And so graduated Cirno the Strongest, newly minted Rangermans of the Grand Dungeonmans Academy. Congratulations, Cirno the Strongest. As the first graduate of the Dungeonmans Academy, there is much that rests upon your shoulders. This wild and tame world is yours to explore, wander, and protect. Before you go, I can offer some exceedingly brief words of advice to nudge you in the right direction. Do you care to hear them? Please, I'm all ears. Cirno the Strongest, know these things well. First, danger lies to the east and south. The further you go, the darker and more cunning your foes become. In other words, the end boss is all the way down to the east and south. As you venture far from civilization, know also that the danger will increase. If you grow too bold and are surrounded by foes you are not equal to, none can save you but yourself. Surely there's more to the world than wild beast. In the farthest corner of the land lives the dread Purplonians, a vile race that is the enemy of all good men. What twisted master they serve is unknown to us, but there is no doubt that the dread Purplonians are the greatest known threat, and should be crushed once and for all. Should you keep your wits and fortune smile, perhaps the crusher shall be you. But let us not get ahead of ourselves. The dread Purplonians are the greatest threat. Got it. This academy is your home, and you are always welcome here. Should you find any academy artifacts, bring them back here post-haste. They will provide benefit not only for yourself, but for other students who graduate here should you fall. Our academy grows through your efforts alone. As it so happens, there's an academy artifact just outside our walls. A stinking flock of scrollbolds invaded our halls in the dead of night and made off with our only triple-coiled decalcinator, the heart of our alchemy lab. If you happen to stumble across it in your travels, return it to me. A quest. I love quests. No, dear Cirno the Strongest, there are no great quests set before you. Your path is your own. And where it takes you, no one can say. Seek not guidance from humble townsfolk or snooty lords. A Dungeonmans builds legends alone. I understand. Thank you. That is all I have for you. Should you seek yet more advice, visit the Wall of Text just down the hall from here. Knowledge everlasting should you choose to endure it. Go now. Adventure with courage and fire in your heart. Make the Order of Dungeonmans proud. I will. And that's it. We begin. And yep. Okay, so I have to use the arrow keys to move. Gotcha. System. Save changes close. Okay, so that should take care of that. I'm gonna go ahead and check my volumes real quick, and then I'll be right back. Okay. I can also move by clicking, it looks like. Not that that's gonna help me much. This is the Academy War Chest. When you upgrade the Academy by returning artifacts or books, you'll sometimes have rewards for you placed in here. While your Academy upgrades will help future graduates, the items in this chest will help you right now. And I better get to finding more Academy items. So the stuff about the Academy items is how you upgrade this Academy, which will affect future characters. But you also the character that finds these items also gets a benefit, and it's usually a bigger benefit for the person that finds it. So it's always a good idea to try to find those things. Oh, Cirno the Strongest, are you sure you're in the right place? As even you can see, this library is in deplorable condition. It's as barren as my miserable wife's dusty womb, and as empty as your rattling head. We're an embarrassment to the written word, so get out, go adventure, and if somehow you manage to come back on your own 2 feet, maybe you can be so kind as to give books you don't want to the headmaster. He might be the only other person in this whole institution who won't just stuff them in his mouth. Bring books I don't want back to the headmaster. Got it. Maybe he'll burn them while you watch, jerk. So yeah, nothing in here. And I can get out through this way if I want to. So it does let me know when I have an extra action, and you might notice, well, this guy's not moving as much, but when I do that extra action, the opponent won't be able to act, which is nice. Okay, I can't do anything with that. Go here. Okay, so I can attack. I see. So I can do speed moving if I want to. I can also rest to recover and all that fun stuff. Ah, Cirno the Strongest. Checking out the alchemy laboratory, I see. Well, no touching and certainly no drinking. Not that there's much to drink. This is a miserable excuse for an alchemy lab. Scrubbles ran off with the last piece of good equipment I had, and now I'm distilling potions through bending straws in a goldfish bowl. If you happen to run across any decent alchemical tools, we could certainly use them. If you also happen to paint the walls of a certain nearby dungeon crimson with scrubble blood, that would be good too. I'll keep an eye out for you. And this guy. So this is the armory. You can trash stuff here, and when you trash stuff, you'll get components and things like that. And you can also upgrade your starting weapons and armor for your for future characters, and stuff like that. I don't really remember all the details for it. There's also one other room that we'll eventually get, but for right now we will not get it. Which is like a monster thing. As this alchemy lab gets better, you'll get more starting potions, and as the library gets better, you get more starting scrolls, I believe. Hopeless, what part of permadeath don't you louts understand? The Grand Dungeonmans Academy, founded by Sir Winnington Crushfield III, legendary champion across the distant horizon. Alright, you mewling zero-level scrublets, pay attention. Here's Cirno the Strongest, a real hero, and what real hero Cirno the Strongest is going to do for us is head out into the world and defeat champions, those monsters with the glowing red aura. You crush them like there's no tomorrow, bring back the proofs of strength that they drop, bring them back, and you'll be making yourself stronger and bolstering every future academy graduate. Isn't that right, Cirno the Strongest? Mark this day, recruits, for real hero Cirno the Strongest sets off in the name of war and victory, and shall return atop a dragon of thunder clutching 1,000 skulls. Alright, okay. Alright, so that should be it for that. Oh, and then there's this guy. Oh, hello there, young Cirno the Strongest. How you doing? Oh, me? I'm just in this empty graveyard here. Nice and empty. Yep, gonna stay that way too, right? It would be best if I didn't have to do no digging. No, sir, I hate graves. You might as well take your vacation now, because I'm gonna one-shot this whole continent. You watch. I'm probably not gonna one-shot this continent. Bones. Have to do this how long? Alright, enough of that. Let's get out of here. To the overworld! Alright, so we've got a quest. There is a town down here. There's actually multiple towns throughout the continent. You can go there to shop, and you can also improve those towns, though I don't know if those carry over. Also, I didn't really go over my character, so let's go ahead and do that real quick. So there's my stats, dodge ratings, armor ratings. You got block and parries. You got a hit rating that goes against the dodge rating, stuff like that. And then stuff that like defeats this just means it negates that much, I guess. Then there's all this resistance stuff, which I'm right now I have negative resistance to. Minus 15% resist. Sorry, I'm a little confused on this one. Resist minus 20% poison damage. I guess that means I take an additional 12 damage, or 12% damage. Here's the map, which has a bunch of little numbers. How do I exit out of this map? Escape key. Alright. We also have our skills. As we level up, we can put our points into skills. So you got some that are specific to certain classes. So you can actually spread your stuff through multiple classes. More than likely, we'll be doing Rangerman stuff right now. We do start out with Stick and Move, which allows us to jump up to 3 spaces away while shooting, which is really, really good, because that means they can move and shoot at the same time. Also, let's see what else we got. We have some. We don't have any shield use, do we? It's hard to tell. I think it's the color stuff that I have. So I do have some. I can use one-handed weapons. I can use bows, and I have ranger focus, which means whenever if after 3 rounds of not firing my ranged weapon, I get a bonus to my next shot. Also has a lot of flavor text. You can fight with one-handed weapons, and you almost always keep them pointing in the right direction. Let's see. I can't fire weapons while wearing a shield. Listen here, rookies. If I hear any of you squawking about ranged weapons being easy mode, you'll be mopping rainbow-stained floors in the alchemy lab for the next 300 years. Shooting enemies from afar is least hard mode, and you're still going to die. Academy Battlemaster. And Ranger Focus, get the buff if you don't fire for 3 rounds. No, Scrublet, this does not mean you should only fire every 3 rounds. It does mean your opening attack in an encounter hits the hardest, so make it count. Skewer the biggest target or let loose with your fanciest spray of arrows. Don't just fire mindlessly at the first scary monster you see. Academy Battlemaster. Alright, stick and move. Requires medium armor. Okay, we are equipped. We are skilled with medium armor, which gives us quick dash, which allows us to move 2 it allows us to move 2 spaces and gives us a dodge bonus. I think it lets you like flip over things too, which is nice. Anyway, so yeah, we can equip medium armor and we can use bows and one-handed weapons, and that's about the gist of it. So let's go ahead and switch back to this. Take a look at our inventory. 10 steel door spike. Spike the door and hold it shut, preventing monsters from opening it and forcing them to try and break it. That's actually kind of nice. I didn't even know about this. We are level 1. We start out with really bad bows. Terror bow. Even if you miss, the enemy will likely die laughing at you because of your weapon. Yesterday's knife. Might be the worst weapon in the game. Rebel's leather. A cracked, pinchy, and squeaky testament to your fiery spirit of rebellion. Cirno's the strongest left fist. 1 out of 10 Dungeonmans agree that this is the best fist. Okay, that should be it, I think. Yeah, that was our masteries. Skills and powers. Oh, okay, so I can do shift plus number to like move stuff to the hotbar and stuff like that. Okay, great. Well, I already have the stuff on my hotbar, so that's good enough for me. Alright, so we can go to town or we can start going towards these places. Now, so the newbie area to kind of get you started is the Scrollboard Warren. So if we do that, we should be getting our quest done and all that fun stuff. Alright. And right now, let's see, is there anything else I need to know about this place? Oops, didn't mean to go that far. Sokyo Adventurous. I believe the Adventurous represents the difficulty of the area you're in. So right now it's just equal to our level. Alright, let's do this. Alright. Convenient Scrollboard Warren. Foolish red creatures setting up in their squalid home, not a stone's throw from Dungeonmans Academy. It is as if they want to be crushed. And I couldn't read the rest of it, because I read too slow. Alright, you can break pots and all that fun stuff. Yeah. All you have to do is, if to do a melee attack, all you have to do is just move towards it. And then if I want to, if I hit F, I can get my range and fire. I have infinite arrows, so no worries there. Actually, let's go ahead and change this. I want to go ahead and do, lock camera on hero, please. Thank you. Yeah, I think that's better. Anyway, standard fog of war. What is that? Oh, it's a shield, which I can't use, so I'm using a bow. Okay, so the health bar is that little green bar there. Alright, so what I can do here is I can use my ability. I can select my jump destination and fire. It does put strain, which strain is kind of like the cooldown, so you can't use the item until your strain wears off, which is why I took that one ability that reduces strain down to 2 rounds instead of like 8. It does use up stamina, so that's something you gotta keep track of. Oh, something else to note about upgrading your library and your alchemy lab. As you upgrade it, it will automatically identify potions and scrolls for you. So right now, because we have nothing upgraded, I actually don't know what any potions and what any scrolls do. So keep that in mind. Okay, that's another one of those. Oh wow, that hit. Wow, his guts are just bouncing. all the way over there. Yeah. You might think this is easy, and it kind of is. Yeah, so Scroll of Firm Point. I don't know what the scroll does. I have to, like, use it and see what happens. And there are bad potions and bad scrolls. So, yay for that. Do I have a map for this place? Enemies constantly spawn. So be aware of that. Discount shortbow. Okay, discount shortbow. It's definitely better than the shortbow I'm using right now. Just like the one Legolas 55 uses. The power of the liquid contained here is a mystery. Arcane symbols, strange scribblings, you should probably just go ahead and read it out loud. Oh, I don't want that. Oh, I just used a scroll of carefully escape dungeon, which after 20 rounds is gonna kick me out. So, yeah, that's a thing. I'm gonna go ahead and equip this unidentified weapon, because it does more damage. Yeah, it does 1d6 plus 1, as opposed to 1d5 minus 1. So yeah, I'm gonna be booted out. Something to note about leaving a dungeon: if you leave a floor or a dungeon with enemies in view, they will get a buff, because they scared you away. Anyway, we'll just... Alright. And just like that, you escape the dungeon. Alright, so we're back here again. So yeah. Anyway. And it looks like I'm just about out of time, so let's go ahead and call this a video for now. I am the Depressed Dio, and this was Dungeonmans with Cirno the Strongest. See you guys later.